But let's transition to episode 5
Let's do it.
before we have mental and emotional breakdowns. Episode 5, best episode thus far in the series. I think we can agree on
Yeah,
that, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Wholeheartedly.
absolutely.
We finally get to see a lot of Vader. But before we
Mhm.
see that, we see Coruscant, which I didn't realize was
Oh,
Coruscant at
man.
first.
I didn't
And we
either.
pan in, and we see the rat tail.
Mm-hmm.
We see the rat tail, and we see Padawan Anakin. We see the lightsaber hilt from episode 2.
I
Like-
know.
Like, not. I remember that. That's one of my favorite lightsabers. Like, I remember having it as a kid, as a toy. And we see that, and we see them like training. And I gotta tell you my first two thoughts. My first two thoughts. My first thought was, oh my god, because I was barely awake when I turned it on, and then I was up. I was like, oh my god, this is happening. Second thought, Disney, you couldn't have used a little more money in the budget to de-age this guy a little more.
That's fair.
You could tell it's not the same time period. Like,
You can absolutely tell.
come on, we just made Robert Downey Jr. like 40 years younger in Endgame, or I mean in
Right?
Civil War, like 6
Yeah.
years ago. We couldn't have done a little more for Anakin. I feel like that would have been a little easier, but
Yeah, you would think so.
but hey, that's okay. I'm gonna take what I've been given, and they can edit that later,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
They take stuff
Yeah,
out,
sure, why
add
not?
stuff all the time to these shows because
Absolutely.
apparently that's a thing
Why
they
not?
can do. But it was cool regardless. I thought Obi-Wan looked spot on, pretty much for the most part. I thought that
Yep.
was pretty good. I think I'm just gonna say this while it's on my mind. I actually, from a nostalgia standpoint, I love the training scenes. I thought they were cool. From a storytelling standpoint, I thought they were a little too on the nose with trying to like exactly parallel what was going on in the show. I didn't like that, I will be honest.
I had the same feeling a little bit. Yeah, it's just like, okay, guys, like, maybe my biggest thing is like, we know Anakin Skywalker. We don't like. I don't need to see a scene telling me what he's like. I've been rewatching the same 3 movies for like 20 years.
20 years.
I am very aware of the temperament of Anakin Skywalker. Like, I don't need you to explain that to me. Like, it's not news. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, wow, he's impatient.
Wow, that's
like,
new.
Yeah, we know. Remember when Count Dooku cuts his arm off? Like, what?
Remember when he cuts Count Dooku's head off? I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very well aware. Oh, remember that animated show where he just like cold-bloodedly kills someone? I remember.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to remind me. I did like the one part of it, like how like in the middle of it where he like gets aggressive in there, because I was like, that was cool to see. Like, even in training he was aggressive. But yeah, like with the dialogue, I was like, it kind of almost does injustice to like episode 2 and 3 where he slowly becomes more angry and like he like almost jealous. I don't know, maybe, but
right.
I don't know. Like yeah, it's redundant. It's and like I said, just how closely it parallels. Like, I guess the one that comes to mind is like, don't have the dialogue where Obi-Wan's like, attacking is not the Jedi way. Cut to Vader and he's like, attack. Like, no, I don't. You need to do that.
It's a little much. Yeah, like I'm fine with the scene, and I'm fine if you want to give us, young Anakin, young Obi-Wan. Like, that's cool. I enjoy that. But you're right. Like, you didn't have to do it like that. Like, it was just unnecessary.
Show that whole 5-minute training sequence. The first scene, all of it, and then add all of those in later, where I can watch and be like, oh, that's kind of like in the training scene. Like, let me go back to it and figure that out.
Right. I don't I don't need it spelled out together.
Respect my intelligence. Yeah, respect my intelligence watching this, right? Because I think that's actually one of the most beautiful things Marvel has done, is they respect your intelligence and assume that you know, or we'll figure it out. Do that with me. And if I can't figure it out, whatever. I'll figure it out in like 10 years, right? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, don't. I don't know.
You're totally right though, because if they would have just taken all those cutscenes and stuck them together at the beginning, it would have been better. You're totally right. Maybe that's something they'll do
I usually am. Yeah, I
production.
know. Yeah, cool.
I usually am.
That's our friendship right there. That like 6 seconds that you just saw.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Friendship. Friendship is a strong word for our relationship, but
I just want to preface. I guess preface is not the right word, but the 40 minutes before we hit the record button, all he was doing was trying to get me to move to where he's at. I just need to throw that out there for the public.
Yeah, my name on this program is Move Here.
Is it really? It is. Mine is still Vengeance from March. Watching Batman.
Trying to convince him to why he should live in my basement for an yet to be agreed upon amount of time.
Wait, you saying like move there for like an undisclosed amount of time before moving again?
Well, I'm eventually going to kick you out of the basement. I just don't know how long it's
like in your house.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Depends how helpful you are, probably. And I know the answer, and it's not very.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
Anyway, all right. Back to the episode. So we liked the flashback.